Ladies, in 2025, the greatest investment you will ever make is the investment in yourself. It's time for you to stop waiting on others, stop seeking approval, and stop looking for validation from the outside world. You've been blessed with a purpose, but it starts with you, and it starts now. In order to understand where we are going, it is absolutely vital that we first know where we are right now. Many of us live our lives on autopilot, rushing from one task to the next without ever truly pausing to assess where we stand. If you're going to focus on yourself in 2025, it starts with self-awareness and deep reflection. To move forward in life, you first have to take the time to look back. Not with regret, but with purpose. Self-awareness is not just about knowing your likes and dislikes or your strengths and weaknesses. It's about being in tune with your inner self, your thoughts, your emotions, and the underlying reasons for your actions. It's easy to get caught up in the demands of life, to chase after goals that others have set for us, or to live according to expectations that don't align with our true selves. We might even feel like we're living someone else's life instead of our own. But when you take the time to truly reflect and understand who you are, you begin to see things from a different perspective. You gain clarity, you gain focus, and that focus will guide you to make choices that serve you, not just today, but for the rest of your life. Reflection is the first step in this journey of self-awareness. Reflection is not just a passive activity where you think about your past. It's an active process where you evaluate your past actions, relationships, decisions, and how they have shaped who you are. By reflecting on your past, you uncover the root causes of your actions, behaviors, and emotional responses. You begin to understand why you've made certain choices and why you've ended up where you are. Sometimes we get so caught up in the daily grind that we forget to ask ourselves, how did I get here? Why did I choose this path? When was the last time I checked in with myself? This level of reflection is a powerful tool for personal growth because it allows you to learn from your experiences. You can evaluate mistakes not as failures, but as valuable lessons that have equipped you for what lies ahead. You can see where you've succeeded and recognize the habits, decisions, and mindsets that contributed to that success. The goal of reflection is not to dwell in the past or to beat yourself up for past mistakes, but to gain insight so you can move forward with wisdom and clarity. Without reflection, you miss the opportunity to course correct, to make better decisions, and to understand your own potential. But self-awareness doesn't just stop at reflection. Once you've taken the time to look inward, you have to be brave enough to face the truth. This might mean acknowledging areas where you've been avoiding growth, where you've held on to limiting beliefs or fear, or where you've let other people's opinions dictate your life. It means owning up to your flaws and weaknesses without judgment and without shame. Self-awareness requires you to be honest with yourself, even if the truth is uncomfortable. Being honest with yourself is an act of courage. You have to face parts of yourself that you may have buried deep down. You have to confront your fears, your doubts, and the lies you've told yourself about what you can and cannot do. If you truly want to focus on yourself in 2025, you cannot afford to live in denial. You need to embrace who you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's where transformation begins. Because when you're honest with yourself, you can start to change the things that no longer serve you. You can start to heal, to grow, and to step into a new level of self-awareness that empowers you to live the life you were meant to live. In addition to honesty, self-awareness also requires acceptance. You have to accept where you are right now in your journey. It's easy to get frustrated when things aren't happening as quickly as we would like, or when our goals seem far out of reach. But self-awareness invites you to acknowledge your current reality without judgment. Accept where you are so that you can move forward without resistance. Don't waste time beating yourself up for not being where you think you should be. Every stage of your journey is a necessary step that will ultimately bring you closer to your purpose. It's important to remember that growth is a process, and sometimes you need to give yourself the grace to be exactly where you are at this moment. Another key aspect of self-awareness is understanding your values and beliefs. Your values shape the decisions you make, the relationships you form, and how you show up in the world. If you don't know what you truly value, you might find yourself in situations that don't align with who you are at your core. For example, you might say yes to opportunities or people that don't serve your long-term goals or values simply because you didn't take the time to reflect on what matters most to you. Knowing your values is essential in creating a life that's true to yourself. It acts as a compass, guiding you through life's challenges and decisions. If you're ever unsure of what to do, your values will help steer you in the right direction. They are the foundation of your integrity. Your values define the kind of person you are and will continue to be, regardless of external circumstances. Lastly, as you grow in self-awareness, it's important to recognize your potential. We often get so focused on our limitations that we forget to acknowledge our strengths. You are capable of more than you realize, but if you don't take the time to know yourself, your abilities, your passions, your gifts, you will never fully tap into that potential. Self-awareness helps you see the greatness within you even when others don't. It empowers you to act on the dreams and goals that align with your true purpose. So in 2025, if you are going to focus on yourself, start with self-awareness. Reflect on your past, understand your values, accept where you are, and recognize your potential. When you take the time to truly know yourself, you are better equipped to take the next step, make better decisions, and create the life you've always dreamed of. It all begins with looking within. In life, one of the most powerful tools you can possess is the ability to say no. The truth is, many of us are afraid of saying no because we fear disappointing others or being perceived as selfish. But the reality is, in order to truly focus on yourself and your future, you must become intentional about where you invest your time, energy, and emotions. In 2025, one of the most important lessons you can learn is to set boundaries. Clear, firm, and unapologetic boundaries. Setting boundaries isn't about being rude or rejecting people. It's about prioritizing your well-being, your purpose, and your growth. We live in a world that constantly demands our attention. There's always someone who needs something from us, whether it's a favor, a piece of advice, or a simple act of kindness. While it's important to be generous, we must also recognize that our time and energy are limited. If we don't establish clear boundaries, we can easily become overwhelmed and drained, leaving us with little to no resources left for our own dreams and ambitions. Think about how often you've said yes to something because you didn't want to disappoint someone, even though you knew it wasn't in your best interest. Maybe you agreed to take on extra work even though you were already stretched thin, or maybe you allowed a toxic relationship to continue because you didn't want to hurt the other person's feelings. But here's the truth. Saying yes to everything means you're saying no to yourself. Every time you agree to something that doesn't align with your goals or values, you are robbing yourself of the time and energy you need to pour into your own future. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect. It's a declaration that your time, your energy, and your emotional space are precious, and that you are unwilling to give them away to anyone or anything that doesn't serve you. Boundaries aren't just about protecting yourself from negative or harmful influences. They're also about creating space for the things that truly matter. By saying no to distractions, you open up the possibility to say yes to your growth, your dreams, and your personal development. One of the most difficult areas where people struggle with setting boundaries is in their relationships. We are often conditioned to put the needs of others before our own, especially when it comes to family, friends, and work. But if we don't take the time to prioritize ourselves, we risk losing sight of who we are and what we need. Sometimes we stay in relationships that drain us because we don't want to hurt the other person or because we feel obligated. But staying in situations that are emotionally or mentally exhausting does not serve either party. It only creates resentment and frustration. In 2025, it's crucial to be honest with yourself about the relationships that are uplifting and those that are holding you back. You need to be willing to set boundaries with people who are constantly taking more from you than they are giving, or who refuse to respect your time and space. This doesn't mean you have to cut people off, but it does mean you need to be clear about what you will and will not tolerate. Another area where boundaries are essential is in our professional lives. In a world where hustle culture is glorified, it can be easy to say yes to every opportunity that comes your way, even if it doesn't align with your goals or values. But the truth is, overcommitting to work or professional obligations can lead to burnout and frustration. You cannot be at your best for others if you are constantly depleting yourself. Setting boundaries in your career means learning to prioritize your time, knowing when to say no to projects that aren't in line with your goals, and having the courage to take breaks when needed. It's about recognizing that your career is just one part of your life and that it should never come at the expense of your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. When you begin to set boundaries, you'll likely encounter resistance from others. People may be used to you saying yes all the time, and they may not understand why you're suddenly changing the way you engage with them. They may try to guilt trip you or make you feel bad for taking care of yourself. This is where the power of consistency comes into play. You have to be firm and consistent in your boundaries. It won't always be easy, and you might face some uncomfortable moments, but remember, your peace and well-being are worth it. In fact, when you respect yourself enough to establish and maintain healthy boundaries, you teach others how to respect you as well. It's also important to note that setting boundaries isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice. As you grow and evolve, so will your boundaries. What you allow in your life today may no longer serve you tomorrow. As you continue to focus on yourself and your growth in 2025, you'll find that your boundaries will shift and change in response to your changing needs. This is a natural part of personal growth, and it's something to be celebrated, not feared. Boundaries also give you the clarity you need to make better decisions. When you've set clear boundaries, you can more easily assess whether a situation or person is aligned with your values and goals. You won't be swayed by external pressure or emotional manipulation because you'll have a strong sense of what's acceptable and what isn't. Boundaries help you stay focused on what truly matters and prevent you from getting sidetracked by things that are not in alignment with your purpose. When you begin to set boundaries, you create an environment where you can thrive. You allow yourself the space to grow, to recharge, and to invest in the things that will bring you closer to your goals. And in doing so, you show up as the best version of yourself, strong, focused, and empowered. Remember, in 2025, your time, energy, and peace are precious. Don't be afraid to say no to the things that drain you so you can say yes to the life you deserve. Living a purpose-driven life is not just a concept, it's a calling that comes from deep within, a whisper that reminds you that you were created for something greater. In 2025, if you want to make the most of the year, if you want to experience real growth, fulfillment, and success, you must anchor everything you do to a clear, purposeful vision. Purpose is the fuel that powers you to take action, even when the road is hard. It's the force that propels you forward when the world seems to be pulling you in every direction. When you have purpose, you have direction, and with that direction comes clarity. Too many of us spend our days running on a treadmill, going through the motions, without ever stopping to ask the most important question: why am I doing this? Why do you wake up in the morning? Why do you go to work or school? Why do you engage in the relationships that you do? If you don't have a clear understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, you'll likely end up burnt out, frustrated, and disconnected from the very things that could bring you joy and fulfillment. You'll get lost in the busyness of life and miss the opportunity to live with intention. Purpose-driven living is about aligning everything you do with the mission and vision you have for your life. It's about taking the time to discover what truly matters to you and what you feel called to accomplish. Your purpose is bigger than just a career, a job title, or a paycheck. It's connected to who you are at your core, to your passions, your talents, and the legacy you want to leave behind. When you live with purpose, everything you do has meaning. Your work, your relationships, your personal growth, everything becomes an opportunity to fulfill your deeper calling. The challenge for many people is that they spend years, sometimes decades, chasing external markers of success. They focus on what society tells them is important: money, status, recognition, without ever considering whether those things align with their true purpose. We get caught up in the shoulds of life. I should have this job. I should be married by now. I should own a house. But the reality is, the shoulds don't always lead us to fulfillment. They only lead us to exhaustion and disillusionment. When you chase after someone else's version of success, you may find that you've achieved everything on paper, but inside you still feel empty. In 2025, it's time to shift the focus away from what others expect and begin to ask yourself, what do I want? What am I passionate about? What would I do if there were no limitations? These questions are essential to uncovering your purpose. Purpose-driven living is not about following a prescribed formula or chasing after goals that are handed to you by society. It's about tuning into your inner voice and discovering the path that's uniquely yours. It's about doing the work to uncover what truly excites you, what makes your heart come alive, and then building your life around that. Once you have clarity on your purpose, you must be intentional about how you live it out. Purpose is not something that's just for a special moment. It's something that should guide every part of your life. It should influence the choices you make, the people you spend time with, and the way you spend your energy. When you know your purpose, it becomes the lens through which you view every situation. If you're considering a new opportunity, ask yourself, does this align with my purpose? If you're deciding who to invest your time in, ask, does this relationship serve my purpose? Living with purpose means making decisions that are in alignment with your deepest values and vision. But living a purpose-driven life isn't always easy. The world will try to distract you, to pull you in directions that have nothing to do with your calling. People will try to convince you to take paths that aren't yours, and you'll face obstacles that will test your resolve. But when you are rooted in purpose, you'll find the strength to stay the course. Purpose gives you the resilience to push through the hard times and the courage to say no to things that don't serve your call. When you have purpose, setbacks become stepping stones, and challenges turn into opportunities to grow. One of the most powerful aspects of living a purpose-driven life is that it frees you from the constant need for external validation. When you are clear on your purpose, you no longer need others to tell you you're doing the right thing. You don't need the approval of others to feel fulfilled. This doesn't mean you won't have support, but it does mean that your self-worth isn't tied to the opinions of others. You are secure in the knowledge that you are walking the path that you were meant to walk. You understand that your value doesn't come from external achievements, but from being true to yourself and to your purpose. Purpose also leads to fulfillment. When you live in alignment with your purpose, you experience a sense of satisfaction that goes beyond material accomplishments. Success in the world's eyes may not always equate to true fulfillment in your heart. The pursuit of purpose, however, brings a deeper sense of joy and contentment. It's knowing that you are contributing to something bigger than yourself, something that is meaningful not only to you, but to the world around you. Your work becomes an expression of your passion and your calling, and your impact extends far beyond what you can see. In 2025, make it your goal to live with purpose. Take the time to discover what truly matters to you and then commit to living in a way that reflects that truth. Every day, take steps toward fulfilling your purpose, no matter how small. When you are driven by purpose, your actions become aligned with your vision, and your life transforms from one of mere survival to one of intentional, impactful living. Purpose doesn't just lead to success, it leads to a life of meaning. And when you live a life of meaning, you are truly living at your highest potential. Purpose-driven living is the foundation of a life well lived. And it's the key to unlocking the fullness of your potential in 2025 and beyond. In 2025, one of the most powerful shifts you can make is to prioritize your personal development above all else. The truth is, growth isn't something that happens by accident. It requires intentional effort, dedication, and a mindset that is constantly focused on improving and evolving. When you make personal development a top priority, you are actively shaping the person you want to become and preparing yourself for the future you desire. The path to growth begins with a commitment to investing in yourself, not just in terms of your career or external achievements, but in your mind, body, and spirit. First and foremost, personal development requires a willingness to learn. Growth is impossible without new knowledge, skills, and perspectives. In today's world, change happens at an unprecedented rate. Technology, industries, and societal norms are evolving, and the ability to adapt and learn is critical to staying relevant. But learning is not just about acquiring new information. It's about shifting your mindset to be open to new ideas, experiences, and challenges. The more you open yourself up to learning, the more you grow. This means reading books, attending seminars, taking courses, and surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to think differently. In many cases, growth is about unlearning the things that no longer serve you. Some of us carry beliefs and habits from the past that hold us back, but when you are committed to personal development, you start to recognize these limitations and make the conscious decision to overcome them. It's about expanding your mind and understanding that the more you learn, the more you realize there is always more to discover. In addition to learning new things, personal development also requires self-discipline. The road to growth is not always easy, and there will be times when it feels like progress is slow or even non-existent. But the key is consistency. Personal growth is not about one-time breakthroughs. It's about small, incremental steps taken every day. Whether you are working on improving a skill, building a habit, or changing your mindset, the most important thing is to keep moving forward. It's easy to become discouraged when you don't see immediate results. But remember that growth is a process. Every effort you make, no matter how small, contributes to your overall progress. Self-discipline also plays a major role in staying focused on your goals. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what's important. Social media, endless notifications, and external pressures can pull you away from your true purpose. But personal development requires you to develop the discipline to say no to distractions and stay focused on what truly matters. This might mean putting away your phone to read a book, committing to regular exercise, or waking up early to work on your goals before the rest of the world demands your attention. It's about creating habits that support your personal growth and sticking with them even when it feels challenging. Another crucial aspect of personal development is emotional growth. Many of us focus on intellectual or physical growth, but we often neglect the importance of emotional maturity. Emotional growth involves becoming aware of your feelings, understanding your emotional triggers, and learning how to manage your emotions in a healthy way. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather learning to respond to them in ways that align with your goals and values. Emotional intelligence is key to personal development because it directly impacts how we interact with others, how we handle stress, and how we maintain healthy relationships. As you work on your emotional growth, you will likely encounter difficult moments, situations that challenge your patience, your tolerance, and your ability to remain calm. But these moments are opportunities for growth. Each time you manage your emotions in a healthy way, you strengthen your emotional resilience and become better equipped to handle future challenges. Emotional growth is about learning to respond rather than react. It's about becoming the kind of person who can face adversity with grace and understanding, knowing that your emotional state does not dictate your success. Physical growth is also an essential part of personal development. Our bodies are the vessels through which we experience life, and if we want to be the best version of ourselves, we need to take care of our physical health. This means prioritizing nutrition, exercise, and rest. When you invest in your body, you enhance your energy levels, increase your ability to focus, and improve your overall well-being. Physical health is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, it's difficult to fully engage in the process of personal growth because you'll constantly be battling fatigue, illness, or lack of energy. Personal development also requires a shift in your mindset. One of the most powerful mindsets you can adopt is the growth mindset. The belief that your abilities and intelligence are not fixed, but can be developed through dedication and hard work. When you have a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities to learn rather than obstacles to avoid. You understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a valuable lesson that can help you improve. This mindset shifts the way you approach problems, setbacks, and success. Instead of being discouraged by mistakes, you embrace them as part of the process, knowing that each experience brings you closer to your potential. Alongside a growth mindset, personal development requires you to build resilience. Life will inevitably throw obstacles in your path, but resilience is what allows you to bounce back from adversity. It's the ability to keep going even when things get tough. It's about learning from your challenges and using those lessons to come back stronger. Resilience doesn't mean you won't face difficulties, but it means that you'll have the strength to push through them and continue moving forward. It's about finding the courage to keep growing no matter what life throws at you. Finally, personal development is not a solo journey. It's important to surround yourself with people who encourage, challenge, and support your growth. Relationships are one of the most significant factors in your development because they provide opportunities for feedback, collaboration, and support. You cannot grow in isolation. Being around people who push you to be your best, who inspire you, and who hold you accountable can accelerate your growth. These relationships serve as mirrors, reflecting back to you the areas where you need to improve and also the areas where you excel. In 2025, make personal development a top priority. Commit to the process of learning, growing, and improving in every area of your life. Be disciplined in your efforts, resilient in the face of challenges, and open to emotional and physical growth. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to become the best version of yourself. When you invest in your personal development, you unlock your full potential and lay the foundation for a future that is limitless. The greatest investment you can make is in yourself, and the rewards of personal growth will extend far beyond what you can imagine. The power of self-reflection is an essential and often overlooked tool in the journey of focusing on yourself and achieving your goals. In 2025, one of the most impactful practices you can incorporate into your life is the habit of consistently looking inward. Self-reflection is the process of stepping back and examining your thoughts, actions, motivations, and experiences with the intention of gaining clarity and insight. It is the quiet time you take to connect with your true self and reassess your path, helping you make informed decisions and course correct when necessary. Without reflection, it is easy to get caught up in the rush of life, making choices on autopilot and missing the opportunities for growth that come from truly understanding your own mind and heart. Self-reflection is a practice that requires intentionality and discipline. It's easy to get caught up in the distractions and noise of the world around us, work, social media, relationships, and endless responsibilities. Yet, in the midst of the chaos, the most important thing we can do is to find stillness, to look inward, and to ask ourselves the tough questions that lead to transformation. When we reflect on our lives, we gain perspective, clarity, and awareness of who we truly are and what we truly need. It allows us to peel away the layers of external expectations and rediscover what matters most to us. This practice is not a luxury, but a necessity for anyone who is serious about focusing on themselves and aligning their actions with their deeper purpose. Reflection allows you to review your past and learn from it. The past can often serve as a powerful teacher if we take the time to learn from it. When we look back on our experiences, whether successes or failures, we can identify patterns, behaviors, and decisions that have shaped our current reality. It is only through reflecting on these moments that we can gain the insights needed to make better choices in the future. For example, if you find yourself repeatedly facing similar challenges, self-reflection allows you to ask questions like, what is it about me that keeps attracting this type of situation? Or what can I learn from this mistake that will help me do better next time? This level of honest introspection is necessary for growth because it shifts your mindset from being a passive participant in life to an active creator of your own future. Through self-reflection, you also gain a deeper understanding of your strengths and weaknesses. We all have areas where we excel as well as areas where we struggle. However, many of us are too focused on external validation or the opinions of others to take an honest inventory of our capabilities. Reflection allows you to stop and honestly assess yourself, not just based on how others see you, but on how you see yourself. Recognizing your strengths empowers you to leverage them in service of your goals, while acknowledging your weaknesses gives you the opportunity to address them and seek improvement. Self-awareness is one of the most important aspects of growth, and without reflection, you remain unaware of the areas where you may be holding yourself back. Additionally, self-reflection provides clarity about your goals and values. It's easy to get sidetracked by external pressures and lose sight of what you truly want in life. Society, family, and friends often have their own ideas about what success looks like, but self-reflection helps you tune out the noise and focus on your own vision. It allows you to assess if the direction you're headed. For instance, you may find that you've been pursuing a particular career path or lifestyle because of societal expectations, not because it truly fulfills you. By taking the time to reflect, you can realign your efforts with your true values and begin to pursue goals that genuinely resonate with who you are and what you stand for. A crucial aspect of self-reflection is developing the ability to forgive yourself. Many of us carry the weight of past mistakes, missed opportunities, and regret. These negative emotions can hold us back and prevent us from moving forward. However, self-reflection offers an opportunity to release these burdens. It encourages you to look at your mistakes not as failures, but as lessons that have helped you grow. Through reflection, you can offer yourself grace, recognizing that you are human and capable of learning and improving. This forgiveness is not about excusing poor choices, but rather about acknowledging your past, accepting it, and using it as a springboard for your future. Self-forgiveness frees you from the shackles of guilt and shame and allows you to step into the future with a clean slate. Reflection also helps you track your progress. It is easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. But when you take time to reflect on how far you've come, you may realize that you've made significant progress, even if it wasn't immediately obvious. Regular self-reflection allows you to celebrate the small wins along the way and acknowledge the steps you've taken toward your goals. By tracking your progress, you reinforce your sense of achievement and build the motivation needed to continue. It helps you see that growth doesn't always happen in leaps and bounds, but in the steady, consistent actions you take every day. Perhaps one of the most valuable aspects of self-reflection is its ability to guide decision-making. We often face crossroads in life, decisions that could significantly impact our future. During these times, reflection provides the clarity needed to make choices that are aligned with our long-term goals and values. Instead of rushing into decisions based on external pressures or fleeting emotions, reflection allows you to step back and ask yourself the key questions. Does this choice align with my purpose? What would the consequences of this decision be in the long term? Am I making this choice for the right reasons? By practicing regular self-reflection, you become more attuned to your intuition and gain the wisdom needed to make choices that are in harmony with your true self. Incorporating self-reflection into your daily life does not require hours of sitting in silence or extensive journaling, though both can be helpful practices. It can be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each day to pause and assess how you're feeling, what you've accomplished, and what you want to achieve next. It might involve taking a walk and reflecting on the events of the day, or it could mean sitting quietly for a few minutes before bed and thinking about what went well and what could be improved. The key is to make reflection a habit, a regular part of your routine that helps you stay grounded, focused, and aligned with your. In 2025, commit to making self-reflection a consistent part of your life. Take the time to regularly check in with yourself and assess where you are and where you're headed. Embrace the insights that come from looking inward and use them to adjust your course as needed. When you make reflection a priority, you'll develop deeper self-awareness, greater clarity about your purpose, and the ability to make decisions that lead you closer to your desired future. The power of self-reflection will not only help you focus on yourself, but will also unlock the full potential within you. In conclusion, as we step into 2025, the most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to focus solely on your growth, purpose, and development. This year, you have the opportunity to transform your life by embracing the power of self-reflection, living with intention, and committing to the process of continuous improvement. As you align yourself with your purpose, invest in your personal growth, and engage in deep introspection, you'll find that the challenges of the world become stepping stones to your success. When you focus on yourself in a positive, intentional way, you begin to unlock doors you never knew existed. You build the resilience needed to overcome obstacles, develop the clarity to make better decisions, and cultivate the strength to remain steadfast in the pursuit of your goals. You become the person who no longer waits for opportunities but creates them. By nurturing your mind, body, and spirit, you align your daily actions with your deepest values and desires, giving you the direction and motivation to live a truly fulfilled life. Your growth becomes a reflection of your internal focus, and as you evolve, you inspire others to do the same. Remember that the most significant investment you can make is in yourself. And as you invest in your personal development, you also invest in your future. So, in 2025, make the choice to focus only on yourself, not from a place of selfishness, but from a place of self-love and self-awareness. When you do this, you will not only see the transformation in your own life, but will also set an example for others to follow. The world will not wait for you, but if you focus on your growth, you will rise above, creating a life that is truly aligned with your deepest potential. Now's the time. Focus on yourself, and everything else will follow.